Welcome back, brush monkeys. As you recall, last week we did this guy, the Deep One Priest, and I think he came out pretty spiffy. I'm pretty happy with how he came out. Painted him up like a poison dart frog, so that's why he's got the neon green and the black splotches. This week we're doing the Deep One Acolyte in the same kind of color scheme, but slightly different. We're doing him in blue, and so I have Reaper, what is the name on it? Surf Aqua for the base coat of his skin. Okay, then I'm going to shade wash that with a little Drakenhof Nightshade, and then dry brush it with Skink Blue. Then we'll do the well, his belly is going to be a shop T-bone with a little bit of Seraphim Sepia and a dry brush of Tyrant Skull. Then his black splotches are going to be, well, his claws are going to be Nightmare Black. His splotches are going to be pure black, highlighted with some Corvus Black, because I want those highlights to be a little bit stronger than they were on the other guy. The Vallejo Black Gray is a great color, but it is really, really dark, and Corvus Black is more of a very dark gray. Not quite Eshin Gray, but dark gray. Then, of course, his eyes are going to be Averland Sunset. Oops, knock everything over here. Going to be Averland Sunset with Vallejo Game Color Black pupils. And then I've got the Gray Seer out to redo the rock he's standing on. If there's any splosh over. Then the rock's going to be Basilicum Gray. The texture here is going to be Plaguebearer Flesh. It's going to get an all-over wash of Athonian Camo Shade. And then the base band will be Vallejo Game Color Heavy Black Green. And then we'll put some tufts on it. So basically he's going to be based exactly the same as this guy here. And I really like how his came out. So we're going to do him the same way. But for right now, let's get started on the skin. So I'm going to go ahead and stop here and go paint his skin. He's got a lot of skin. He doesn't have as much metal. He doesn't have any clothes or armor or anything like that on him. So won't be any metallics on this guy. He's going to be a much more straightforward paint job and probably a little bit faster because of that. So I'll go ahead and stop here and get started on the base coat. See you soon. Bye. Alright, brush monkeys, we're back. And we made a lot of progress on this guy, but we've also made some changes on him, on his planned painting scheme. I was originally going to paint him similar to this poison dart frog. I'm going to put up a picture here. And I thought that was really cool. I thought it was kind of a blue version of the green one where it had the big splotches on it and everything. And I really like that color scheme. But then my wife went on a vacation recently to Nebraska to visit a friend of hers. And they went to the Nebraska Zoo up there. And she sent me back this picture of poison dart frog. And I really liked that color scheme on that frog. So I decided to change up how I was going to paint this guy. I gave him the purple belly that the frog in the picture had, and I did Druchii Violet shade wash on both the belly and the arms and legs to kind of mimic that the purple on his arms and legs and how it blends up into the blue. I layered the skin with the Surf Aqua again, and then I dry brushed it with the Skink Blue, and I went kind of heavy with the dry brush over the top of the head and shoulders and the back, so it comes out really light blue like the frog in the picture. And when I go to do the spots on them, they're going to be much more like almost like polka dots like the ones in the picture, not so much like the random splotches like the green one had. So he's going to be a very distinctively different poison arrow frog, but still be a deep one like the priest. I'm also going to paint his eyes. I put away the Averland Sunset and flat black. I'm going to do his eyes in the Nightmare Black, so those will show up against the skin, and I think it's going to be really nice. It's also not going to be quite so jarring. It'll look a little more like the frog in the picture. So his eyes and his claws are all going to be Nightmare Black. But for right now, I've got that, you can see that wash is kind of heavy on them. I'm going to let that dry and take a break. And then when we come back, we'll start painting some claws and some spots. Right? So I think this guy's going to look really cool when he's done. I really think he's going to end up looking like that frog in the picture. I think it's going to be cool. So anyway, stick around, and I'll be right back. See ya. Alright, made a little progress, so it's update time. I got his claws on his hands and feet painted. They look pretty good. And of course I got his eyes painted. So they're looking pretty spiff. Looks a little creepy, a little more alien with his eyes like that. I think somehow the yellow with the black slits on the other guy kind of gave him a sort of alien intelligence. But the new guy kind of looks, I don't know. I like them both for different reasons. But these are actually the eyes that the other guy should have had if I was sticking strictly to the picture of the frog. But yeah, I'm kind of digging how that looks. I'm really pretty pleased with how this guy's turning out. So like I said, it just got his claws and his eyes and done. And so up next is the black splotches along his back, all the little black spots. And that's going to take a little while because there's going to be a lot of black spots. These kind of frogs, you know, you saw from the picture, they got a whole bunch of little black spots all over them, and they look kind of like bigger spots near the center of the back and everything, and then getting gradually smaller and smaller as you work your way out the limbs. And so that's kind of how I'm going to paint them. And I'm really happy with how this guy's turning out so far. I think it's a really striking color scheme for a figure that's almost the actual size of the frog. So I'm going to pause here and let that paint dry for a little bit, and then when we come back, we'll start in on the spots. Okay, see you soon. Bye. Alright, brush monkeys, have made some more progress on our guy here. I added all the black splotches and highlighted them, and he looks pretty good. You notice, much like the frog picture, I started with the biggest ones down the middle of his back, and smaller ones to the side, and then even smaller ones beyond that, tapering out to his legs in little tiny spots. And I think he looks pretty spiff. I really like how it came out. Now, I've already painted him with flat black, and I highlighted him with a little bit of Corvus black. So you see there's a really dark gray kind of highlight on them there, just to bring out those highlights. And I think it looks really good. I'm really happy with how this guy is coming out. Next step is the base. So I got as you can see, there's been a lot of overbrushing with the various shade washes. So I'm going to rebase that stone he's standing on with gray cere, and then the stone will be basilicanum gray, and the rest of the base will be plague bearer flesh, and then it'll get an all over wash of Athonian camo shade, and then the gray or the green base band. Ideally, his base will come out looking like the Deep One Priest here, and I'll glue a couple of tufts on him there too. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and do that gray cere, and then we'll get the contrast paints down on them, and our guy's pretty close to being done. All right, see you soon. Bye. Alright, time for one last progress check before we wrap this guy up. I based the rock he was standing on there in gray cere, and you can kind of see a couple places on the base where I touched that up with gray cere as well. A couple little light patches here and there, just to take out the blue color that had been splattered on there. And then I painted the rock with basilicanum gray, painted the base with plague bearer flesh. Now, once both those contrast paints dry, the entire thing will get a wash of Athonian camo shade, and then I'm going to paint the base band with this heavy black green. So I'm going to take a break while that dries, and then I think the next time you see this guy, he's going to be completely done. Because there's really not a whole lot left to do with him. You know, I do one more shade wash and then take a break, and then paint the base band, and he's done. So yeah, so the next time you see this guy, he's going to be completely done, and I'm pretty happy with how he's turning out. He looks pretty slick. So see you soon. Bye. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen, our finished Deep One Acolyte, painted to look like a blue poison dart frog. I think he came out really good. I'm pretty happy with him. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this guy came out. These were some fun guys to paint. I'm going to have to see if I can find some more deep ones on the Reaper website. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye. Oh, and before I forget, here's the Deep One Priest with the Deep One Acolyte. You can see the two different poison dart frog color schemes I went with on these guys. And this is kind of why I want to get some more deep ones, because there's a lot more variety in poison dart frogs, and I want to paint some others. This was a lot of fun. So, again, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.
Hey Brush Monkeys, Tom from Flying Monkey Studios here. If you like what you see, click like down below. If you want to be notified when new videos come out, click subscribe. And in the meantime, if you want to see how to add one of the miniatures that we've painted on this channel to your own collection, check out our Instagram, Tumblr, and Patreon sites. If you want to support us in doing what we do, check out my Patreon site, check out my merch store at storefrontier.com/flymonkeystudios. You can get t-shirts, sweatshirts, long sleeve shirts, hoodies, all kinds of stuff there. Go check that out. And in the meantime, thanks for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye.